Welcome back to the Road Show this morning in the Buzz. Both houses of Congress have introduced versions of a bill known as the Stand Up Act. The intent of that legislation is aimed at making teens safer drivers and reducing crash rates. Now, today, supporters of the bill are urging Congress to pass the new law. And under the proposal, drivers would have to be 16 to get a permit, which, is already the case in some states, 18 for a full license. Teens would have to be supervised while driving at night until they're 18, and cell phone use would be strictly prohibited while behind the wheel, and teen drivers would be allowed only one friend in the car under the age of 21. Now, supporters of the bill think this could save thousands of lives, but in the meantime, on Thursday, a new law goes into effect in Massachusetts, banning the use of electronic devices while driving for anyone. And anyone 17 and under will not even be allowed to hold a phone while they're driving. So is this the kind of national standard we need to see in this country?
I think there are things that are good. I was just kind of going through the list. 16 to get the permit. I think we're all on board with that. I'm okay with that. I think you can get your license when you're 16. I think 18. Parents want to stop driving their kids to soccer practice, when they're like sophomores in high school. The cell phone thing, I'm all on board with that. I think we all agree, or maybe we don't. We'll find out. But the texting, the driving, anything like that. Teen drivers only allowed one friend in the car under 21.
I think that's a huge one, because the studies show that the more teenagers you have under the age of 18 that are in a car driving together, the more likely it is that you'll have a crash, and that crash will be fatal, because there's so much distraction, whether you're talking and being distracted, or switching the radio, or laughing, or whatever's going on.
I think that the majority of those I'm all on board with you. One of the things I worry about with the 18 not being able to drive without being supervised at night, some of these kids now are being relied on by their family members as a source of income. They're going out and they're getting jobs, and they're having to help put food on the table. And so if they're not able to drive without a parent in the car until 18, I think that could hinder some of that. I think for your average 16, 17-year-old, it's a good thing.
Well, and I think up to the age of 16, you can't work after 9 p.m. without a specific note anyway. But in any case, I also think that there is a little bit of a double standard, at least in the state of Rhode Island. I mean, if we're allowed to talk on the phone while driving here. And
when you drive home to New York, you've got to hang your phone up right when you get to Connecticut.
Yeah, absolutely.
You cross the border.
And I think that if teens are seeing their parents talk on the phone, and then also, I even see my parents when I'm driving from New York to Rhode Island, they're calling me 2 hours in to see if I made it. Well, I didn't make it yet. And if I'm driving, then I really shouldn't be on the phone. Right. So I think that we have to be kind of on board all around to say, listen, maybe we shouldn't be allowed to drive and talk on a cell phone in Rhode Island. And if we're expecting it of teenagers, maybe we should expect it of adults as well.
Well, there's that no texting rule, and everywhere I go, and I'm
It's like drunk driving, they say. It's like the equivalent of having 3 beers and getting behind the wheel.
How many people, though, do you still see texting and
Absolutely.
driving? I mean, it's everywhere.
Absolutely.
But the thing with the kids and the licenses and all that in the later ages, what happens when you don't allow kids to do something when they think they're old enough to do it?
Yeah.
They sneak out of the house at 2 in the morning with their car, and more bad things happen. I think you can give them their licenses, but any kind of distraction for a child, how about an adult too, a distraction?
Yeah, it's true.
Take them away. It's
true.
I mean, think about all the accidents we used to get into before we had cell phones. We just had to reach over and change the radio station. Now you're talking about all these other things. It is really, really dangerous. I'm thinking eventually, my new car has it, but I think every new car should be equipped with Bluetooth, so you don't have hands-free stuff.
Yeah, and hopefully that would become a standard.
I mean, that should be like a...
Isn't there like GPS tracking now that can tell a parent when a child goes over a certain speed on the roads, like a young driver? You can even track that, or your spouse, for that matter.
I like this. As my daughter gets older, I'll be able to track her every move
when
that guy tries to take her out for a date.
Dad always managed to have eyes everywhere without that technology.
Yeah, it's called being a dad and being plugged in, I guess. Well, I tell you what, Mel, we're talking about this hot-button issue this morning, and I'm curious what our viewers are saying.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I have to say, we spoke with the president of OnStar recently, and he was talking about a new program where you're going to be able to Facebook, text, and do all of that hands-free. So I think it should be mandatory in all cars, hopefully someday, making the roads a lot safer. But I'm here in the New England Tech Center, live blogging on FoxProvidence.com. So let's see what some of our bloggers have to say this morning. Colleen says, it drives me crazy knowing my kids text and drive. They are 21 and 24 and should know better. And Smokey Wolf says, okay, I don't text while driving. It's too scary, but I have seen lots of young kids trying to drive and text all the time in Fall River. And Joe says, I don't even talk on the phone while driving, and I don't like those who do. This really bothers me, but it's the world that we live in. And in case you're just joining us, I posted today's Buzz poll question on foxprovidence.com. It's right under the live blog. This morning we're asking, do you still text and drive despite the warnings and laws prohibiting it? Your choices are A, yes I do, I can multitask very well, B, no, it's dangerous and not worth the risk, or C, only if I'm stopped or away from traffic. And our friends on Facebook are weighing in this morning. Patrick Rapano says, I try not to, and my Bluetooth I installed in my truck makes calling hands-free, and it's a great way to focus more on driving while talking on the phone. And Nicole Chadwick writes, absolutely not. I have never texted while driving. I have a friend who always has and always will text while she drives, and as long as she does, she can count on riding solo. So